Hey guys, I'm John Kokolakis, and you're watching Grow with a Lawyer, where we talk about life and issues that entrepreneurs and small businesses face daily with the intent to help you get one step closer to reaching your goals. Now, in past, I've talked about thinking like a lawyer on this channel, and I'd like to do it again today with a little more detail. And in doing so, I want to touch upon an attorney's thought process, our legal reasoning, our critical thinking, and our analytical thinking. Now, generally speaking, this isn't only as to attorneys, but it's something that we need to perfect as a skill because it's the very essence and nature of what we do on a daily basis. So I'd like to start with when I first meet with a client. Someone comes in and they give me an issue, they give me their problem and something that they're dealing with. And so that basically is what we call the legal problem that arises. And during our client interview, we discuss with them what's going on, get an idea of what this problem is. And we're doing so because we're trying to determine the type of legal problem. And we assess the client's needs, their desires, and looking for some sort of coherence. And we're going to do this by probing questions and asking them to really get a better idea. Then we want to figure out exactly what it is that they want. What's their outcome? And this is where sometimes people lose touch. So we really want to focus on that. Then we take what they told us and we think about that for a little bit and we digest those relevant facts. This is where the analysis is coming into play. And we are taking the facts that were given to us and then we're doing a little research to see how that ties in with the law. So we're going to look at statutory law, case law, and see if we can find any applicable rules and do some inductive reasoning in order to find major premise for the category, the syllogism. And then what I tend to do is I tend to look in the past and see, did I handle this type of issue prior and how did I handle that? And look at the general area of law as I funnel in and slowly niche in to see what I'm dealing on a particular case. So when I find the applicable statute, and I then look for analogous cases. So I look for some case law as well. And it's awesome when I find a case that's right on point, and sometimes I don't. But in those scenarios, then I'll look to see if I can get some sort of case that is close enough. And then generally what I do at that point is I want to synthesize the laws and the rules that I've taken and combine that with the facts so I can really get a nice idea of what I'm working on. So I'm basically, in my legal reasoning, perceiving the facts as they come in, the problem that's there. I'm organizing those facts in conjunction with the laws after I've done some research. And then I reconstruct the information into meaningful concepts with the purpose to form a judgment and to be able to solve the problem. So generally, it's what facts are relevant to the applicable law. So I zone into that, right? Then I want to look at what our argument's going to be. And I also want to look at what argument I think the response or what argument the other side will be making. We definitely have to think of those concerns. And then we have to detach from the actual problem and wonder is, generally, how does this affect public policy, moral issues, ethical concerns? Are any of those issues that arise? But then strategy comes into place as well, procedural options on depending how we want to move to go forward. And then we're going to looking at a cost analysis to see sometimes which way is the best way. Sometimes it just comes down to the calculator. Like we may be right on the law in every aspect, but it's just not worth it to move forward because in order to prove our case, it would cost too much. And what we have at hand isn't worth it. Okay, so I have a meeting and I give a conclusion to the client and I express to them exactly what I think I can do for them. I give them options A, option B, and I generally tend to give them my opinion, what I would do if it was me. Now, all this can be very tiresome, and a lot of times the client doesn't understand what goes into the back end when we're dealing with something like this. And, we're looking many times at a bunch of facts. And as I discussed before, as I want to recap, we identify the key legal facts and issues. We identify principles or rules of law operating in a particular case. We applying that case, rule, or legal statute to a hypothetical case, identifying the basis for that legal decision, interpreting the statutes in relation to the case or the problem, We're identifying and evaluating the legal arguments in a case and identifying similarities and differences between cases and problems. And that could be a little tiresome, right? And another aspect then comes down to communication. And in communicating, we got to make sure that we can write concisely and with clarity and also argue our position logically and persuasively. At the end of the day, if we're not able to do that, then it defeats the point of all our research and the solid foundation we may have created. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button below and also let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was. And if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe for new videos every single week. And if you know anyone that could benefit from this video, be sure to share it with them. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss new videos as they drop. Thanks.